Hello everyone, welcome to the data analysis with Python training program. Today we are going to continue our model 3 NumPy. In this lecture we are going to continue with NumPy operations. So let's explore all these things with the Jupyter. Learning NumPy is quite difficult, so we will learn all these things with the help of Jupyter Notebook, because there we can visualize all the things by processing the code. In the previous lecture we have studied about creating a NumPy array, getting data type of NumPy array, reshaping the NumPy array, as well as create a ND array with the help of arange function. Now I am going to show you how to create a ND array, create an array with the help of two more functions. One is linspace and another one will be logspace. So let's see the syntax of linspace. Its syntax will be like numpy dot linspace, then put starting point, means the starting number, then put stop number, and then you may also provide num and end point, and then you can put rate a step and then d type. These are the attributes which you can provide in the linspace function. Now I am going to discuss each attribute individually. Start is actually the starting value of the sequence, and stop is the end point of the sequence. Then we will consider num. Num is actually the number of evenly spaced samples, means you have to provide how many samples you want to get from the numbers which you have provided. It actually, linspace actually creates a array by using the numbers between two given number, and actually it divides the number of terms you want in the array, then it will create according to that, and all two consecutive numbers have equal difference. All right. End point is nothing but actually a boolean value which is already true, means if you are not providing a stop value then it will be false. If you are providing a stop value then it will be true. All right. If a stop value is not included then it will be false. All right, otherwise it becomes always true. Now the last thing, that one is rate step. Rate step is actually a boolean value. It is true and returns the sample step between the consecutive numbers, means if it is true it will return the samples and step between two consecutive numbers. And last one, that one is data d type, which you have all know. You can define this thing by your own. All right. Now I am going to show you how to create array with the help of linspace. So let's take x as array, and now I am making like np dot linspace, and I am giving start position from 10 and end position at 20, and I want 5 different numbers between 10 to 20. Then it will create an array of 5 different numbers between 10 and 20, and all the numbers are equally distant, means it actually takes the start point and end point and distribute according to that, like 10, and difference between two numbers is what? Starting and end point is 10. Now it will calculate like it has to make it has to print 5 different numbers. So it will start from where? Initial position and read that the given position. So end 2 numbers are given, now 3 numbers is required. So it has to distribute it in 4 equal parts. So it divide the numbers difference between them by the number, and then it gets the output, and it see here difference between two consecutive number is 2.5. So when you are going to create like this, by is equal to linspace and give the number like 20 to 50 and ask for 10 different numbers between 20 to 50, and sorry, I have mistaken something, that one is I have mistaken np dot. So here is the thing, now you will get like this. What happened here? Again it put out the difference, that one is what? 30, and then we need how much number? 10 number, and we have already 2 numbers given. So how many numbers we have required? 8. So it will divide 30 divided by 9, and you will get answer like this, 3.3335. You can see that the difference between two consecutive numbers in the array is the same as given here. Now I am going to show you how to use endpoint in the NumPy array. So let's see the example. X is equal to np dot linspace, and then provide the starting value, and then provide the stop value, provide the the number of evenly spaced samples you want to generate. Alright, if you will not provide this, it will actually divide it into 50 different parts. Let's see, I am missing the thing, and you will get the answer like this. It has divided into 50 different equal numbers. Alright, so I am going to put a number num5, and I am setting endpoint to false. When I will set endpoint to false, it will generate equal numbers by considering in this way. Let's see, you have got 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Now when we set it endpoint as false, what it has done? It has actually done it like this, 20 minus 10, and then what is 10? And 10 divided by 5, you will get answer like 2. So it has done like this, 10 plus 2, this one is 12, then 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 2, 16, 16 plus 2, 18. In this way, it has formed the array. Okay, now set the endpoint as true and see, you will get the previous result. Alright, so do like this, linspace, and by default it always be true. That's why it divide like that way, difference between the number, and then it what it does, total divided by n minus 1, means number minus 1. Alright, so let's see, 10, 20, and then 5 num, and end point as true, end point is equal to true. Then you will get like this, it has divided what? It has done 20 minus 10, and then divided by 5 minus 1. Alright, so we got, sorry, I have done a mistake, that one is this, we must have to put like this. So this one is the endpoint as false, then it will make a calculation like this, 20 minus 10, and that will be divided by 5. Alright, so this one is the difference of endpoint. Alright, now I am going to show you how to set rate step. All right. So rate step will be like this: x is equal to np dot linspace 10, 20, and then provide value 5 and set RET is equal to true. By default it is false. So when you are going to get, you will get rate step in the end. Here the rate step is what? 2.5. Then you will set the end point also here. So set the end point here, end point as false, then you will get rate step as 2. So run this, then you will get answer here 2. See here, the rate step is 2. Alright, so this is all about linspace, how linspace function works for creating an array. Now I am going to show you how to use log space. So for log space, syntax is in this way: numpy dot log space, and then provide the attributes like a start, stop, and then num endpoint as well as base. Here is the new thing is base. At the rate step, here is new attribute, that one is base, and then last d type. Alright, so we know all the above data types except base. Base is actually base of log space, default is 10, but when you will set to different value, it will gives you the output like in a different manner. So let's see how to create this thing. A is equal to np dot log space, and then put 10 to 20, and then num is equal to 10. I am setting num is equal to 10. When I am going to print A, I will get 10 different numbers between 10 to 20 with log. Actually it's making like this: log of 10, sorry, you will get, when you will use, you have knowledge of log, then log of 10, if base is 10 is equal to 1, then it has created what? Log of 12.5. Alright, then you will get answer like this. Now I am going to show you how to create an array with different ways. So for that, let's take an array B is equal to np dot log space, and then provide a start value. Let's take 10, 20, and then num, set the num as 10, and now take base is equal to 2. I am changing the base. Now when you are going to print this, you will get answer like this. So you can create all these things with the help of log space, linspace also. Now I am going to show you how to slice an array. So let's see, here is the A. I have setted an array with the np range and setted slice as s is equal to slice. Actually this one is the slicing part. So you can slice by using A and pass s, you will get answer like this: 2, 4, 6. What it has done? It has actually taken the space from 2 and started from 2, index 2, that one is 2, and then it moved up to the index 7, that one is 7, and it has not taken the 7 as consideration because it is in point. So it all taken consideration up to 6. Alright. So after that it takes a jump of 2, so it printed 2, 4, and 6. So you can also use direct slicing like A and then pass like starting from 1, end at 8, and take a jump of 3. Then you will get answer like this. What here happened? It has started from the index 1, that one is 1, then it ended at index 8. Index 8 means here is the index 8, 7. So it's taken up to here and takes a jump of 3. Alright. So in the array, indexing endpoint is taken under consideration. I have said earlier a wrong statement that it not take under consideration, because here index start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. So index 7 is what? Now I am going to show you how to perform indexing and slicing in ND array. So for that, let's see. This one is the array A. Now I am going to perform slicing. So for that, you have to use the same as we have done in the Python in list and other thing. So take a start point, that when I am taking 1 and put a colon and then provide the end point, and end point I am taking as 8 and gives the jump value. So you will get answer like this. You can perform like in this way also, start from 1 and up to end, then you will get answer like this. Start from start from initial and it at 9, then you will get answer like this. You can also provide jump like 2, start from 2, end at 8 and takes a jump of 3, then you will get output like this. Alright, so in this way we can provide do the slicing part. And for indexing, we know that indexing what? In indexing it starts from 0 and it continued up to the term, all the terms. Let's see. So index of 0 is 1, index of 1 is 1, index of 2 is 2, index of 3 is 3, index of 4 is 4, index of 5 is 5, index of 6 is 6. So in this way you can also call like this way, a of 1, you will get the answer like this. So you can fetch the value by using indexing also. So this is all about indexing and slicing in ND array. Alright. Now I am going to show you arithmetic operation on NumPy array. Operations on NumPy array means add, subtract and multiplication, division on NumPy array. So for that, let's create a array first. So I am creating B as array, np dot a range 10. I am creating array. So here is the array. Now I am creating another array, that one is C, and now I am taking it as np dot a range and taking it as again as 10. So both are same value, so create it with line space. Alright, line space. We want to take two different array so that you can see the differences. So 10 to 20, and then you can see that this one is the another one array. Now I am going to perform addition first. So for that we have to use add function. So you can do like this, np dot add and pass the both by comma separation. Now you can see that both the array elements has been added, 0 plus 10, 10, 11.111 plus 1, 12.111. You can see the things like this. You can subtract by using np dot and use subtract function and then just pass the both array, then you will get answer like this. Alright, so when you will reverse the position of subtraction, means both the array, then you will get the positive value because it operates on C comma B, then you will get the positive value. Alright, now I am going to show you how to perform multiplication. For that we use np dot multiply and then pass both the array. So here is the multiplication. Alright, so what it is doing, it is actually making multiplication in the manner like we do the matrix multiplication in the same way. It not making any multiplication, it is actually multiplying the element by element, not a matrix multiplication. So you can see that B is 0, 1, 1, 1, C is this. So when you will multiply 12.222 by 2, then you will get answer like 24.444. So don't understand this as matrix multiplication. It's actually multiplying element by element. Alright, corresponding elements of both the array. Now I am going to show you how to divide the elements. So for that np dot divide B comma C, then you will get answer in this way. You can also change the position, then you will get the different result. Alright, so these are the basic operations arithmetic operations on NumPy array which you can perform easily. Alright. Now I am going to show you some other operations. That one is reciprocal. If you can remember, A is equal to, I am going to show you reciprocal of these numbers. So for that you have to use what? NP dot reciprocal and then pass the array. Then you will get the answer in this way. Alright. So you can also perform different operations as power. Alright. So in power you have to pass two attributes. One is the array and another one is the power. Alright. So for that you have to use np dot power and then just pass the array name, like I am passing B and passing power as 2. So you can see that this one is the square of the array, all elements of array B. Alright. Now I am going to show you how to get mod of an array. Mod of an array means getting out remainder of an array. So in this you will have to provide two attributes, and that one is what? One is the array and another one is the divisor or dividend, you can say that, or you may also pass the another array. So I am passing B and C and I will get the remainder in this manner. When you will change the position, then you will get the different result. Alright. So you can see these things. Now this is all about the arithmetic operations on NumPy. Now we will move towards some other operations on NumPy, and that one is a statistical functions. Means the main functions which we will be using in data analysis is a statistical, because we can analyze all those data which are based on a statistic, so that we can make prediction according to that. Because without using a statistic you cannot even imagine for the analysis purpose. Alright. So we will check some statistical functions first, then we will move for the further operations. Alright. So let's start with minimum and maximum. Alright. So minimum and maximum, percentile as well as deviation, variance, these are the useful functions in NumPy. So let's start with min and max. So let's see the min function, and the name of function is amin. So I am going to apply the function amin. Np dot amin. It takes 4 different attributes, as one is the array name, and then another one is axis, then out point, and then keep dems, and then last one is initial. So we don't need these things now. We will focus on only axis as well as amin. So A will be the name of array, and then we will pass the axis. If you will not give any value for the axis, then it will return the minimum from the array. It actually give you the overall minimum, means it will check all the values in the elements of the array and then it will return you the minimum. And when you will provide axis as 0, a min, and if you are providing axis as 0, then you will get output which will check the array of each array elements and give you the output from the each column. Each column in the sense, let's consider this thing. So in this column, first column, you can see that 382, and among 382, 2 is the minimum, and in the second column 744, 4 is minimum, and in 539, 3 is minimum. So it has returned an array with 2, 4, 3 as output. So when we want to get minimum from a particular row, then we apply a min and then pass the attribute of axis value as 1. Then it will return us the minimum from the each row. So you can see this, among 375, 3 is the minimum, among 843, 3 is the minimum, and among 249, 2 is the minimum. So it returned an array 332 as minimum. Now we will consider maximum. So for that we use a max. The same attributes are used for maximum also. So when you are going to call like this np dot max and just pass a, you will get answer as 9, because among all the values in array you can see that 9 is the maximum value. So when you are going to check maximum along all columns, so you will get answer like this, a comma 0, then you will get in this way. So you can see this in A, among 382, 8 is maximum, among 744, 7 is maximum, among 539, 9 is maximum. Now I will show you how to get maximum among rows. So for that we use a comma 1, then we will get answer like this. So among 375, 7 is maximum, 843, 8 is maximum, 249, 9 is maximum. So this is about maximum and minimum. Now I am going to show you another function, that one is PTP function. It actually gives you the range of given numbers, means it actually calculate of the range by maximum number in the array and minimum number in the array. It will give you the idea about among which range all the numbers of an array lies. Alright, so you can check like this, np dot ptp and pass the array. When you will not give any access value, then it will return the total max minus among the total 9 is maximum and 2 is minimum, so it has written the value as 7. So when you will pass array access as 0, then it will gives you the set of array, means set of elements in an array, where it will consider among each row, each column, and when you will set it at 1, then it will consider among each row. Alright, so a comma 0, then you will get answer like this, 636. You can see that in each column among 2, 3, 8, 2 is minimum and 8 is maximum. So 8 minus 2 is 6. Among second column 7, 4, 4, 7 is maximum, 4 is minimum, so difference is 3. Among third column 5, 3, 9, 3 is minimum, 9 is maximum, so difference is 6. You can also calculate it for row. So for that np dot array ptp, you can also use numpy dot ptp and then pass a comma 1, you will get answer as 457. Alright, so this is all about PTP functions. Now I am going to show you other function, that one is percentile. So how to find percentile of an array. So percentile function, syntax of percentile function is numpy dot percentile, then pass a means array, and then pass q. The percentile to compute must be between 0 to 100, and then axis. So among which axis you want to calculate the percentile. So let's create a number among 0 to 100 so that we get the percentile. Actually it will gives you the idea how a percentile is calculated among various examination, like in JEE Mains and all examination. So let's see, np dot array and create an 2D array. So let's see, 30 comma 40 comma 70 and another value as 80 comma 20 comma 10 and another value as 50 comma 90 comma 60. So we can consider all these things in array. So here our array is this one. Now I am going to apply the percentile function on this. So for that np dot percentile and then pass the array a, simply a, then it will gives you the, either you must have to pass the attribute of q, at least you have to pass the attribute of q. So I am passing the attribute as 50, so it will gives the attribute as 50. Now I want to get the along the x-axis, so I am giving np dot percentile and then passing, a comma 50 and I want along the all columns, so it will give me the output like this. Among 30, 80, 50, the percentile is 50. Among 40, 20, 90, percentile is 40 and the percentile of 70, 10, 60 is 60. Alright. Now you can calculate among the row also. So NP dot percentile a comma 50 comma 1. So you will get answer like 40, 20, 60. Among 30, 40, 70, the percentile is 40. Among 80, 20, 10, percentile is 20. And among 50, 90, 60, considering 50 as percentile, 60. Alright. So Q is actually the value, the percentile to compute must be between 0 to 100. Alright. Now I am going to show you how to get the mean of a array. So here we have already a array. So for that we use what? ANP dot mean and the same thing, pass the array, then it will give you the mean from the all value. When you will pass another attribute axis, then it will give you the mean according to the axis. Like I am setting 0, then it will give me the output like this, np dot mean and then pass 1, then you will get along the row. So in this way you can also calculate median, average and so on. So I am going to also show you how to calculate a standard deviation. Try the average thing yourself. You can press tab and you will get for standard deviation you must have to calculate you must know the formula of a standard deviation. So a standard deviation formula is this one, SQRT means a square root of mean of absolute, means absolute of mod of x minus x dot mean. Alright, x dot mean and then to the power 2. So this one is the formula for standard deviation. So now I am going to show you how to calculate a standard deviation among a number. So let's quickly create a array. So a is equal to np dot array and take a number set like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm taking a array A. Now I am going to apply a standard deviation on array A, np dot std and then pass the argument A. So you will get answer like this 1.707778. The main function of this, you can also use this thing by calculating this thing, but you can directly apply the formula std. std is the function for a standard deviation, and for variance you can use dot var and the same rule. Alright, so let's check for the A variance. So for variance we use np dot var and then pass A, you will get the variance. Alright, so formula of variance is what? Mean then absolute of x minus x dot mean means mean of x and then the whole to the power 2. So this one is the formula for mean. So we can, this one is formula for variance, not for mean. Variance is equal to this. So you can calculate by using a single line dot var at the place of this formula. Alright, so by using numpy you can use so many mathematical functions with ease. Alright, now we will discuss some method for sorting an array. So for sorting an numpy array we can use this one syntax numpy dot sort and then pass the array name, then pass the axis among which you want to sort and then pass the kind, means which kind of sorting you want, and then order, means in which order you want your array. Alright, so let's see. In kind you can set your own definition, but by default it sets to quicksort. In order you can set the field sorted field. Alright, so let's consider example. A is equal to np dot array and create a new array with number 3, 7 and another one as 9 comma 1. Now I am going to, I have mistaken something, that one is, this one is two dimensional array, I have mistaken the square bracket, so this one is the array. Now I am going to show you how to sort this thing. So when you will use sort without giving any attribute, then it will sort along this way. It has sorted it in this way, but when you will give it the attribute, it will set the conditions for that. So let's see, np dot sort and pass the attribute like a comma 0. It will sort along the column. So you can see that initially it was what, when you will print the array, you will get like this. The array was 3, 7, 9, 1. It has sorted along the columns. So you can see that in among column it has sorted. Now for np dot sort and then pass attribute 1, and you will get the sorted array among the row. So you can see this, you got the sorted array among the row. You can also sort according to different data types. So we will discuss in the next module, means tomorrow. So this is all about today. I don't want to extend the video. So we will discuss all the things again tomorrow from sorting. So don't worry about that. So that's all for today. So that's all about today. Thank you. See you all in the next lecture.